gosh. Turn off.
They say robots are inevitable, so I've got 2 of them today, robots that exist in the real world right now that anyone can buy, and we're gonna see if I can train them to clean up my factory. I have a brand new dog and a brand new Zaro C70 robot arm vacuum cleaner to give away at the end of the video, so stick around. This little guy's called Rocky. He's a robot armed vacuum mop from a company called Roborock, and they sent me this and said I could test it out however I wanted. However, this little guy's only built for residential spaces, like homes, apartment, or offices, and not factory floors. Which is where the Robo-Dog comes in. He's mostly just good at walking around and looking creepy, but we've jerry-rigged him up with a vacuum backpack of his own, starting with a 3D printed adapter, which allows the portable shop vac to attach to his back, with a hose and nozzle that can just drag behind, which I think should work for the factory floor pretty well. The clearance his legs provide will help avoid obstacles. Rocky, also known as the Zaro C70, is not quite as tall as the Robo-Dog. He sits at just under 3 inches, so he can mop under the toe kicks on kitchen cabinets. It's absolutely wild that he also includes a fully functional 5-axis robot arm that pops out of a trapdoor on his back like a daisy in springtime. Again, this is not a prototype, this is a real thing available to buy today. Taylor and Bailey run our customer service, and are actually surprisingly good at trash get ball, scoring more often than not.
Because we backed up.
Because we backed up.
However, with the shots that don't go in, Rocky, with his robot arm, is in theory supposed to be able to pick up the slack. The cameras and Starsight Autonomous System 2.0 let him recognize things he can lift, and use his robot arm to move them out of the way, clean up under where the object was, and continue on with his cleaning responsibilities. He can also organize and put socks into bins, or score 2 points by putting trash in the trash can. And of course, get some high fives from the ladies. This is all in theory, of course. I found that manually controlling the arm with the app is a bit more fun. The first time I saw this thing, I knew I wanted to push it to its limits and see how much weight the arm can actually hold. Inside the housing, it says that the maximum payload is 0.3 kilograms, which is exactly 2/3 of a pound. We've devised a 3D printed tray that we can add nuts to increase the payload scientifically to see at what point the arm fails or ceases to function. We'll be starting with its maximum payload at 0.3 kilograms.
Perfect.
Oh, wow. Moving up to 0.4 kilograms, lifting it up. There we go. 0.4 kilograms, dropping it back down. 5 is next, still successful. We are now at 0.5 kilograms, gripping and lifting. And finally, 0.6 kilograms, double the rated capacity for the Zaro Z70 robot arm. Yeah. We're losing nuts. Okay, setting it down.
Error 67. The
Oh,
robotic arm is
67.
stuck. Please make sure there are no
All right,
obstacles
we'll count
in
it.
the robotic arm.
It can barely move 0.6 kilograms. There you have it. At 0.6 kilograms, at double the rated capacity for the robot arm, we start to get a payload warning, but it's interesting that it can lift almost double what it's advertised. He actually looks kind of small in the warehouse space. The largest vacuum we have here, though, is actually the size of a giraffe. See, this is a laser behind me, and it atomizes metal, in our case aluminum for our wheelchair frames, and aluminum dust is extremely combustible, especially the finer the particles. This is the vacuum right here. Tall as a house, but it stores all the aluminum dust and keeps it safely in a place where it will not combust. so scary. This is just not right. Where was I? Oh yes, we're gonna go check out Tyson. He probably has the dirtiest area of the factory that our buddy here is gonna clean. Tyson is what we call the Lord of the Woodshop. This is where we build wooden push rims for our wheelchair wheels. They are classically rugged, but since he works with wood, there is always a lot of manly sawdust around on the floor. That works surprisingly well. Surprisingly, our Robo-Dog and the shop vacuum adapter appear to be handling the dust just fine. I'm manually controlling him at the moment, which is one downside of the dog. The Zaro C70 with the robot arm is a bit more autonomous on the vacuum and mopping side of things. Obviously, this is new technology. While the Zaro Z70 is technically the first robot vacuum with a robot arm that can straighten up a room, he's a pioneer, and as a pioneer it means he's not totally perfect. But for the technology enthusiast who's always wanted a remote-controlled mobile robot arm, it's pretty dope. I found that his object detection skills could use a little more polishing.
No items that can be picked up found.
But as time goes on, over-the-air updates should help out with that. After all, he was just born yesterday. While vacuuming or mopping, Rocky can lift himself over cracks or seams in the floor or rugs, and has 22,000 pascals of suction power. I don't know what a pascal means, but that is a really big number. The flexi-arm riser side brush gets into corners or edges that the suction might not be able to reach, and it uses heated water for the mopping. On hardwood or laminate flooring is where Rocky has a few more tricks up his sleeve, which is a funny thing to say since he does technically have an arm and could very well have a sleeve. Sometimes the hot sauce on my boots gets spread out all over the kitchen, you know how it is. But Rocky can do a double pass with his mop pads and clean the whole thing up. The robot arm's object detection does work way better on hard floors. There are two organizational options, either picking up objects, in this case socks, and just moving them out of the way off to the side, so the vacuum can clean underneath them, or Rocky can move them to a designated storage area, which would probably finally make your mom happy. We have the robot sitting under this corkboard map where we have pins that are positioned everywhere in the USA where we've sold one of our off-road wheelchairs. The base station is where the Zaro C70 lives. I'll pull him out, flip him over. He might not be too happy about it. But these are the mop pads
Mop mount removed.
that are magnetically attached to the back. It can also clean the mop pads in there in that little garage hole. We have the anti-tangle brushes, and then these wheels are what lift it up and over the carpet, as well as like cracks and seams in the floor, tiles and stuff. This is the water container, and this is where the dirty water accumulates after it cleans off the mop pads. And right here is where all of the dust and stuff that he picks up accumulates into one large bag, so you don't have to keep on emptying out like the tiny little bags inside of the vacuum. The bigger bag just means less maintenance. I also like that there's a heating element inside that warms up the water before cleaning the mop pads, because we all know that hot water cleans better than cold water. Robot hardware has improved astronomically over even just the past 5 years. The onboard lasers and LiDAR sensors give these little guys the ability to avoid obstacles and map 3D spaces with pretty incredible levels of detail. So when Roborock says that the Zaro C70 will soon be able to recognize 108 different objects and help clean up the house, I do believe that future is closer than we think. So am I nervous about the AI uprising? Absolutely, especially considering my history. I've taken apart enough robots to know that I'm probably first on the list to be taken apart. But for now, I feel like we are able to work in peace. Somewhere in this video, I have hidden a QR code that you can freeze frame, expand, and scan to get the instructions on how to enter to win one of the Zaro C70 robot arm vacuum mops or the four-legged Robo-Dog, brand new versions. They are fairly expensive, so the giveaway is just here in the USA. Right now, this guy's selling for $1,999. I'll leave the links down in the video description, and I'm excited to see where Roborock takes us next. Their first round is pretty entertaining. Thanks a ton for watching, and I'll see you around.
Turn off.
Legitimately hurt.
Oh my gosh, dude. At least you got it on
We'll
video.
leave that part out. Frickin' heck.
Holy cow. You like smack your wrist really hard?
Yeah, he's strong.
Oof.
I can still move it though, so.
Well,
Whew.
first a robot.